Coach Aso. How's it going, brother?
Doing awesome, man. How are you doing there?
Doing good, man. For everybody who, man, if you don't know, this is Coach Thiago Aso, man, the best of the best, the Lion. How are you doing, brother?
Doing awesome, man. Just chilling right here in the school. I'm gonna teach class in 1 hour. Just excited.
Yeah, man. So, man, I have so many questions, man. So let's just dive right into it, brother. Why don't you just talk about, where you come from and how you started jiu-jitsu, and we'll start from there.
All right, man. All right. So I'm from Brazil, man. Rio de Janeiro state. I'm from a small town from Rio de Janeiro, which called Teresópolis.
Okay.
It's a really small town, 1 hour from the downtown, and you climb the mountains and then you get there. It's like a Flagstaff for Arizona.
Okay.
And yeah, and then I started jiu-jitsu, man, in 2012. Back in the days when I was 13, almost 14.
Okay.
I started jiu-jitsu. My very first day in jiu-jitsu was on April 1st, and it was pretty nice, man. Was my dream since I was really young, man, like 7 years old, starting jiu-jitsu, but I never could. I never had money. I never, I never did behave well. I was just a super energy kid with a lot of energy. And I went to the doctor when I was like 13 years old. I was almost diabetes. With diabetes, I was really, really big, and I was almost 200 pounds. I was a big kid. And, I was about to. And then my family, the doctor told my family that I had to start martial arts or anything that could push me through that. Or otherwise, and then my family started to talk, making plans, see what they could do back in the days. Back in the days, we didn't have any social project for jiu-jitsu or soccer and stuff. You had to pay. It was just $50, man. But, for me, it was really, really expensive. And then my aunt was the only one that could actually afford that $50, And that's it. That's how I started. And since soon I started jiu-jitsu, in a few months I got discount. I got a coach discount, and then eventually it came through.
That's awesome. Well, since you said you were almost close to 200 pounds, what weight do you fight at now? I know you guys go kilos, so we're American. We do pounds here.
Yeah. Well, yeah, man, I got confused back in the day. I'm like 200 kilos. Well, now 22 years old, man, I am 175, 174. Okay. But when I was getting ready for World's No Gi back in December, I was 162, 164.
So that's awesome, man. So I know you coach now, at Ahwatukee, correct?
Yes, sir. Now Ahwatukee here.
And how long have you been coaching for now?
Since I started jiu-jitsu, man, almost 8 years. The end of the year, okay. Gonna be 8 years coaching.
Man, well, we forgot to go over, man. Who's your professors? Who did you go up through?
Oh yeah. Well, my professor, man, I had many professors in my life. I can't get one guy and say, hey, this guy here was the responsible for my whole life. I had little people in my life that changed me a lot. Back in Brazil, some schools, they don't have one professor because sometimes they got open a school and travel to United States, Canadian, or to Europe, and somewhere else, and they let leave the school with black belts take care of the school. And back in the A2, I was lucky because I had Professor Leandro with me. A2 is A2 in the school that I started from. And, man, he's a great guy. Even today, man, I still teaching some things the way that he taught me stuff. Like back in the days, the first thing he taught me was respect on the mat. People don't understand how respectful jiu-jitsu should be. It's not a martial art that hey, bro, come here, let's do this. No, it's like a army. You have to, be quiet and bow down.
Yeah.
And after that, my mother moved to another neighborhood, and I started in jiu-jitsu, Pitbull Jiu-Jitsu. Back in the days was Gracie Barra, but after Gracie Barra got their own gi and mat stuff, they couldn't afford that, so they split up. Was under Master Bita, Adilson Lima Bita. He's black belt under Master Carlos Gracie Jr. So, he's a great guy, super respectful. He's a legend, man, legend. Mm-hmm. After that, 2 years after that, I went to Gracie Barra, that my actually professor, Gustavo Aragão, he opened in Gracie Barra, Teresópolis. And he said, hey, come over. You can train here, blah, 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 help me with a few classes. And then you can have, we call Bolsa in Brazil. You don't pay, and you're going to be my student here. Don't worry, man. I just want to help you. And he gave me, man, a bunch of gis, equipment. I couldn't afford anything, man. And, I was living a dream. Man, I'm training Gracie Barra. That's so nice.
Yeah, that's so awesome, man. So, so altogether, you said you've been teaching or coaching for about 8 years?
Yeah.
Man, and I know you come from like an old school background with black belts. Like we talked about earlier, man, like when you, I don't know what it is for you, what was for you back in the day. For me, when I was a lower belt, I saw a black belt. I was like, oh guys, there's a black belt. And like if you saw one black belt, if there's one black belt, that's you haven't made. If there's 2 black belts, man, like but when you show up and there's like 13 black belts, you're just like, oh my God. So,
yes, man, it's crazy.
My question would be like, what have you seen that's a big change while coaching, maybe with the styles or with yourself from 8 years ago to like now you're still coaching? What's some big changes you've noticed?
Well, to be honest, man, the biggest changes, it's my opinion. A bunch of black belts might watch it and say, hey, this guy is just talking nothing with nothing. Mm-hmm. But back in the days, for me, the respect in jiu-jitsu was something really, the main thing in jiu-jitsu. People used to get in jiu-jitsu to get better manners, I would say. Yeah. Let's say some students here, they, not here, but today we see people getting black belts in 4 or 5 years. Not wrong, that's not wrong, but it's just different the way that I came from. I used to listen to people like, oh, I took 10 years, 12 years to get my black belt. I spent 4 years in my blue belt. My professor just gave me the purple belt when I learned how to respect, how to bow, blah, blah, blah. And that's what I'm missing a lot, man. I don't like to see people getting promoted just because, competition or, because they went good on their words. Black belt's not being good in jiu-jitsu. Black belt's being good in life in here,
Yeah, man. And it's, it's very important to what the black belt represents. And man, and I like kind of what you're saying. It's like you have to pass the right message when you become a black belt, man.
Exactly, man. You're a different person, man. Different, totally different. Like I'm brown belt, 3 stripes. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, when my students came to me and asked for advice and stuff, I take like too long. I take a time to think about what should I say because, I'm just 22, purple belt, brown belt, and I don't think like well, okay, now I consider myself a master. I can advise somebody as, as a black belt.
Man, it's crazy because I was just talking about the other day. It's that, there's some guys see like Professor Flavio and them. I'm right in the same age range, but the wisdom is just on a huge another planet level. And
crazy.
And it's crazy that jiu-jitsu, there's so much wisdom on the mats.
Yeah.
It's insane, man. It's crazy to see. But man, I like what you say. Passing the right message for, especially with kids. We want them to be, especially good manners, because it gets so much farther in life with good manners and acting right, man. And I like how you talk about you like to definitely have that with the kids, man. But before we get into that, let's talk. Let's talk about, man, your journey to come to the United States and here in Arizona, man.
Oh man, it was crazy, and a little bit more crazy. Well, I was, like we spoke earlier today, to come to the United States was pretty weird for me. Weird in a good sense because I'm from a small town, man. It really is small town. To you have an idea, sometimes I get my car, put my skate in, go to downtown and skate around, just take pictures. Because for me, that's a huge thing, downtown, huge buildings. And back to Brazil, my city doesn't have any building. I mean, it does, but you know, it's like a 5, and it's really small. It's not like that big. Nothing interesting in my city. Just natural, you know, stuff. And I never really believed that I could come to the United States at that age. I thought I would come like 25 after winning a bunch of stuff as a black belt. But I was super blessed, man, to have people in my life like my professor Gustavo Aragon. He was able to help me building a good relationship in the school, building more friendship with people, and he allowed me to get, you know, a ticket to the United States. He paid my ticket actually. He allowed me to sell rifles inside the school. You know, it's a business, man. A gym is a business. You can't have people selling stuff like, hey, Tino, can I go to your school, sell, I don't know, hats? Like, it's your school, it's your business, you know. Yeah. So he allowed me to sell that, and that's it, man. I came, and I got no money. I was zero money, blah, 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 bunch of stuff going on, crazy stuff like we spoke today. And I called Coach Lucas. Coach Lucas, please, man, do you have a room for me? Can I just spend 24 hours with you, and tomorrow I'm going to find another place? Coach Lucas allowed me to stay with you for 1 week with Professor Flavio, everybody in a hotel.
Yeah.
And the last day was on Sunday, the last day of the Worlds, actually Saturday. Professor Luis came, just went to California just to watch Coach Lucas fight. Mm-hmm. And he looked at me and said, hey, you are Aso, right? And I said, yeah, man, I'm Aso. He said, hey, okay, you have one choice. Or you shut up, pack your stuff up, hop in the car, let's go to Arizona, or I don't know. And I was like, okay. I just called my mom, and Mom, I'm not coming back to Brazil in 2 days. And she was like, what? I was like, yeah, I'm going to Arizona.
Man,
here I am.
Dude, this is such a crazy but inspiring story, man, because, you know, a lot of kids these days grow up with not knowing about what it is to have hardship or to work hard or to, you know, not feel entitled. You know, and from what I get from your stories, man, is that you just kept your nose down, worked hard, and, you know, these breaks come, you know, and it's really, really, really cool, man, and really inspiring, brother.
Yeah, man. I mean, of course, money is the biggest problem in the world, right? Everything that you have to do is about money. In Brazil, soccer is their religion. And you see how many talents, man. You see kids like, whoa, this kid is a phenomenal. But zero money, zero way to, you know, grow up. And I was just blessed, man. I was just really, really blessed. Everything happened in my life, I used to say it was an accident. And one day I have to give it back to God, or, you know, something, because everything happened because I always really had a good positive mindset. I was like, man, this is going to happen. One day this is going to happen. One day this is going to happen. I totally believe in that, man, to be honest.
Man, and that's one thing I loved about you, man, because no matter what, like, no matter what was going on, like, you know, our competition trainings, we have Professor Flavio, you know how tough they are, man.
Yeah.
And me being the older cat with you young guys, I'm over here like freaking out. And I look at you, man, you're always smiling, laughing. I'm like, God, I wish I could be like Awesome, man. So where does that come from, man? Because you're always so positive, even on the mats, man. Like, okay, I sparred with you. When it's time to spar, man, you're like a worst nightmare of a worst nightmare. But once that time is off, I'm like, hey, you came here. Exactly.
Oh, man.
Where does that come from, brother? You know, where does that come from?
Well, man, like I told you, I was really poor back in Brazil. Really, really poor. I was, of course, if you talk about money, but I was really, really rich. I had my grandma, man, is a super lovely lady. You know, I was a lovely kid. I would say that I had no problems in my childhood. I was a kid raised by a rich kid. You know, everything that I wanted, I had. I always had my grandma ask me how was my day. You know, little things, man, that change your life forever. You know, and things when it started to happen in my life, like, do you know when you find money on your pocket?
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa, that is my whole life, you know? I would say that's my whole life, man. Like, I went to Professor to train with Professor Gustavo Aragão. He offered me to train there for free. 2 years after that, my dad first came to the United States in 2017. We were talking. I was not really believing that I could come to the United States that year. Professor called me, hey, I got you a ticket, and things when it started to happen. Like, I was just like, why is God giving me stuff like that if I don't know why. Many people like me, or people even better than I am, in all senses of life, spiritual, mental, jiu-jitsu, and why it happened to me. So, being grateful is the only thing I can give it back to the universe, God, or whoever is behind my life, And look at us today, man. We have a blessed life. I mean, I train and I work with my best friends, That's, man, it's something that I can't. If I look back to my life, if I could talk to me 10 years ago, I wouldn't believe. I would be like, hey, poor boy, come here. Let me tell you something. You can drink coconut water, like stuff like that. It's not that expensive anymore.
It's crazy because I legit was talking about this the other day. Like, it is such a unique lifestyle that we are in, being with Gracie Barra and being instructors and coaches. But man, it comes with a lot of responsibility too, because, we have these eyes of the students on us. And man, even more so, you're an ambassador, brother. Man,
yeah,
so
it's crazy.
So what does that mean to you being an ambassador?
Man, being an ambassador is really, really crazy. Like you said before the podcast, people look at us and people, send a hi, hello. This is so crazy for me because I just started, man. I'm just a kid, Like, it's so weird, man, when I go to the school for seminar. I never thought I was teaching seminar at brown belt, like we had in North Phoenix back in 2018. First of all, I was just not believing that I was teaching a seminar. And second of all, man, it's so, you teach jiu-jitsu too, like me, and how it's crazy when people, laugh, people have a friendly word, and being ambassador is just a tool, man, to spread stuff for the world. Like in quarantine, we have these crazy times. You just can share something with a positive energy, or text the students like, hey, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. I'm training like a crazy. I'm gonna beat you when you come back. And this what is being ambassador for me. You have a spotlight, a different spotlight that people can take a look at you. Yeah. And you decide what you're gonna do with. You can just be a super athlete, or you can be a super human being. It's totally on you what you do with the opportunity.
Man, that's so awesome, man. But yeah, like I was telling you before, brother, it's like I've seen so many kids just sparring, and then I was like, I'm Coach Aso, and they'll just do it. And I'm like, man, I was like, we need to make it like a little action figure, like a little doll to give out to these kids, man. And it's
crazy,
cool though. But I mean, think about it, man. Like, if they would have to follow anybody, man, just from your story here, man, you're probably the perfect person to follow between, what it's like to work hard and still be positive, man.
Yeah, man, you have to be positive, man. What I was working with before I actually came to United States in 2018, I was selling candy. Okay. Literally selling candy. I worked for my friend Baiano, Ian Carlos. Now he's a school owner back in GB Teresópolis. He used to cook those brigadeiros, a Brazilian chocolate. Okay. Put in a Tupperware, give me the Tupperware, and I used to put a shirt, walk on the street, literally just say, hey, would you like to buy chocolate? Would you like to buy chocolate? And and it was a really humble work back in the days, right? Mm-hmm. And that I had a friend, he used to tell me, just the hard work can humble your soul. So that's why, Dude, that's what I'm trying to say.
That's awesome. So how did it become from, Coach Aso to become an ambassador? What was, how did you become an ambassador, and what was that journey like?
Guess what? An accident.
What?
It was an accident. No, I'm kidding. Man, I was just lucky, man, because exactly the month that I arrived here in Arizona, guess what? they started the ambassadors program.
Okay.
And luckily I had a bunch of medals back in the days in 2018. I was competing in the States and stuff, blah 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 blah, and I could be part of the ambassadors program. But to be honest, I wouldn't believe that the ambassador could become something this huge, because what Coach Lucas telling me, Coach Lucas told me exactly with this word. Oh, we're gonna create a program, because they already have an ocean here.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna just try to sponsor you and us with the money that we can get teaching class, blah 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 blah. Are you okay with that? I was like, oh, I was selling candy back in the street, back in Brazil. I would love that, and that's how I became ambassador.
So let me ask you, man. Since you become an ambassador, what does the ambassadorship mean to you?
Yeah, man. Like I said before, being ambassador is not. I totally see competition as the last thing that I have to worry about being ambassadors, to be honest. Because jiu-jitsu and Gracie Barra, we are literally saving lives. That's it. Every time that you can spotlight a human being that is able to share and spread the good around the people that he lives with, it's great, man. Being ambassador is just Gracie Barra spotlight me and spotlight us. Mina, Zuz, SJ, Coach Lucas, Marcos, Caio, Fortuny, and Brie. Spotlight us to give us the opportunity to show, man, Coach Lucas the other day was teaching a class for diabetes guys. And this guy had, I saw a little bit of the class, and, it was just amazing. And maybe if Coach Lucas wasn't ambassador, Coach Lucas wouldn't be teaching that class, and that guy would not have a contact with somebody that could make him laugh and have a good day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what ambassador means to me today, to be honest, man.
Dude, that's awesome, man. So, obviously, some kids are probably going to watch this. Hopefully they watch this because nothing bad. But Matt, what would you say to the young kids who look up to you, who look up to the ambassadors, and think about one day, if they think about they want to be an ambassador, what would you tell them?
Well, I would tell them, man, first of all, it's not a competition, man. Become an ambassador, I know it's just few spots, but it's not a competition. You don't have to assimilate your successful with your brother and sister fail. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not because I became ambassador you are a loser because you didn't get that spot. It's just I got the opportunity to spotlight to people, And for young kids, I would tell them, keep training. Of course, go to school. School's the main important. Be the best human being you can be. Listen to your parents, and then you look to competition. But first of all, you have to look at yourself. And try to get that spot as the best way you can. It's not a competition. I already saw kids and parents arguing because of this spots in the bars. Oh, my kid shouldn't be there. My kid beat your kid. What is the deal? Your kid beat my kid. It's not a mentality that I would like to have kids thinking. That's so bad.
So that's interesting. So for you, the ambassador is more than just a competition. It means a lot more to that aspect.
The last thing in ambassador is the competition, man. The last thing. Competition will not help you. Competition will help me. Mm-hmm. But since I'm spotlight from ambassador, I can help many people. I can reach more people with more stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Man, well, to talk a little bit about competitions, man, because I love watching you compete. Because again, from sparring with you, man, you have that switch, man. From when you hit that switch, you're again the worst nightmare of the. You get nightmares, brother. So, so let me ask you a question. Was there less stress or pressure before you're an ambassador competing than it is competing now, or is it about the same?
I would say it's about the same, but it's a little. There are a little actually feel difference. Like back in the days, I was never the rough guy competing. You're never gonna see me having a bad attitude, but now it's way different. Back in the days, I didn't have, but I could, and now I have to. I don't have. It's just it's like a Valentino. You don't do that because that's wrong. You're never gonna think like that. I can't do that. No, you're gonna think like I shouldn't do that, right? And now it's like something that you you go to competition, you try to look at people outside. Competition is not just go there anymore. It's not anymore go there, win a tournament, go home and eat whatever you like to eat, like a gold medal.
Okay.
Oh, don't worry, man. Maybe it's my fault. Right? I was just finished like going like ambassador and coach now. It's not just go there and get medal and go home, or if I get medal. Now I go, I talk to my students, I talk to everyone that support me. I try to represent as better as I can inside the mat and outside the mat, and I try to talk and have a brief with all the Gracie Barra students now. It's not an individual sport like it used to be for me now. I have to, like Andy is my student, the little beast. Imagine if I have a bad attitude or just win the fight and wake up and stand up like, the goofy guy or something like this. I don't want to be this guy for her. But back in the days, maybe I wouldn't care, maybe.
And that's pretty cool, man, to see that, to hear from you saying that, nothing's really much changed, even though, a lot, like you said, like there's a giant spotlight on you guys being ambassadors, man. And so, if you could go into detail, because, man, even I really don't know, how do you become an ambassador? Like, what do you need to qualify?
All right. We have a point system.
Okay.
Let's say you won 3 tournaments at that federation. You have like 10 points, and this is how we're gonna manage the stuff. Who has more points? Okay, number 1. Okay, and the second one, we're gonna check your background. You're gonna see if Tino, have you been competing without following Gracie Barra, stuff like having the gi, belt, good manners. Are you from a Gracie Barra school? Little stuff that provided, because be honest, man, Gracie Barra is paying for it with the students. Wouldn't be fair if you compete with the Oregi. Since GBWare is part of the ambassador, they give us, all the support we need. But if you would like to become ambassador, you just have to apply. Yeah. Let's say your kids, when they grow up, they just have to compete, wear the Gracie Barra stuff, being a Gracie Barra student, being part of the class, 80% of all the class that we have, and of course have good manners.
So that's really cool, man, because again, like, I like how the ambassador program, it's not the huge chunk of it's not just competition. It's about passing the right message, man. And that's so awesome, brother.
Not competition, man. Competition is the last thing.
That's so awesome. Well, let me ask you, man, because again, I know you compete a lot. When you have a tournament, or a super fight coming, what's your mentality like, up to those weeks leading up to it?
I try to ignore. I try to think like, tomorrow is the day. Okay, we're gonna fight Coach Lucas, Valentino, and myself. Okay, we are going to compete at 3 p.m. Valentino goes 12, Lucas goes 2, I go 3. I try to focus on you guys. And about myself, I try to focus just like the last 10 minutes,
Yeah.
I don't like to keep thinking about it, because it's a different mindset, man.
Yeah.
If you get focused on your fight, you don't want to talk to people. You don't want to, you become a beast. I don't want to be talked to people, in a bad mood,
yeah.
So that, and of course I try to save energy, mental energy for the last 10 minutes, and then I can punch through.
Man, and that's so true, because I noticed that from myself growing up through jiu-jitsu and even wrestling before then, is, man, like, you would just be so excited. You want to start getting warm up like an hour or 2 before you even go up, and all of a sudden your match comes and your energy's just gone.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't, you're going to see me eating, talk to students, doing charges stuff, play with kids.
Yeah, man, I learned that the hard way in jiu-jitsu, especially. Like, do not burn yourself out before. Like, I usually like 10 minutes, a little before I get to the bullpen. I start warming up a little bit, and the bullpen is the hard, stretching, and then go, man. So,
yeah,
it's definitely light.
this is my mindset. But of course, people gonna watch this and gonna think, no, man, you're totally wrong. People have to be in focus 1 week before, and But like I said, this is my mindset. I think I would be a better person competing, no stress at all.
Hmm. Oh, do we pause?
Just focus 10 minutes before. That's it.
Man, so let me ask you a question now. Like, since we're now in this quarantine and I'm not training as much, what does Coach Aso do now to keep himself, in shape?
I'm sorry. Well, I have, like I said, man, I'm really blessed. I have people always help me. Professor Luis gave me a few mats, so I have a good space for me. My student Spencer gave me a sandbag that I can do squats, whatever. He gave me kettlebells. He gave me 3 kettlebells and 1 sandbag. Professor Luis gave me 1 sand ball. So like I have 60 pounds, 50, 40, 30, 20, and the mat. So every day, man, I wake up, I read. After a good read, I go work out, take shower, eat, read, come to the school. That's my life now.
What is Coach Aso? What if I were to look at Coach Aso's library of books? What does Coach Aso have in there?
Well, I have a lot of psychology books and religion books. Like not religion, like talking about who is God or who is who. It's books about. I like to read. I already read that twice. The Alchemist is from a Brazilian guy. It's about a guy, man. His journey through all the way through his what the name? How do you call it in English? His treasure. But it's not about the treasure. It's about how amazing stuff happened to his life, and this is a great tool to see how positive mindset and how God guide you and help you without being that selfish mindset that God gonna give me this if I do that. No, it's not how religion works, And of course, I try to read a lot sociology and psychology books. I really enjoy reading how people work. That make me feel really,
That's interesting, man. That's pretty cool, bro. Man, and you hit on one thing too that I see a lot of people who who say, "Oh, I'm gonna wait for God. I'm gonna wait for God," and man, I'm like, sometimes you have to do it yourself. God's not gonna do it for you, man. And who's a better person to speak about that than you from your journey from, like you said, from selling candy to now, man?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I mean, God for me is not an individual that is inside your house giving you or make you suffer because something you did or something is gonna happen to you. This is really selfish for me. We are a billion people. Why God would be in your house, pay attention in your life, take care of your life? This for me is this most selfish human beings mindset. I truly believe that what you do gonna come back for you somehow. If you help somebody on the street, one day this is gonna come back to you. I'm proved that, man. Like I just told you, my life is an accident. It's an accident. So I mean, one day I gave $6 to a lady to put gas in her car. Let's say the other day I just can't find $6 in my pocket. That's how
did you see her put the gas in her car? Because sometimes, man, they'll go buy themselves something.
I don't really know, but that was. I mean, she just said, "Hey, do you have a couple of dollars to help you put gas?" And I was like, "Where do you live?" She said, "What the name? It's like 30 minutes up the north. I forgot. Prescott. Something
Did she give the story of hey, my car ran out of gas. I'm from out of town.
Yeah, that's it. Man. She said she was from. She said she was from Prescott. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she said, I just need couple of dollars. And I was like, how long is that? She said, 30 minutes. And I was like, I had like $10 smashed in my pocket because I was buying snacks. And I gave her 6 and left $4. There's actually 2 monsters. And that's it.
Well,
But I
let's
was
hope
like,
to
man,
God she used it for gas, because that story from, hey, I'm from out of town around a gas goes around a lot here in the United States, man. It's not for gas.
but I was like, man, you literally can't pick somebody to help, or you help or not.
Yeah.
You can't look to the person like, you look skilled, so I'm gonna help you for sure. You know, I
It's
was
a lot
like,
like jujitsu, man, where a lot of people are like, it's a different mentality of, hey, you put yourself where you're at. And you could be hateful at everything else, but no matter what, at the end of the day, it's still your decision to get there. And imagine, like, in jiu-jitsu, man, if Coach Aso's on top of me in your legendary psychotrol mount, and I'm looking at Flavio, like, complaining, like, hey, what's Flavio or anybody's going to say, man? Like, hey, you know what? You have to keep coming. You have to be consistent. You have to be persistent. And that's what a lot of things are missing these days, bro.
exactly, man. And people just look to things like the worst case ever. Like, let's say Austin. Pô, training with Austin is not even a training.
Yeah.
It's a drill, it's a drill. But if you look to him, like the guy, they're gonna waste your time. You just take the opportunity, smash it, and throw away. The way that I see when I train with Austin, for example, is like, man, I'm training with a mountain and I'm not dying. If I'm surviving this, I'm a human being. I'm a strong human being. That's how I see things,
Yeah.
Like, man, nobody could handle this. If I handle this, if I train this, I'm great. That's how, I try to see it.
You have a better mentality for the Austin than I do. When I roll with Austin, it's like, man, just don't break my back. Don't break my back.
I also have this. If I don't die, that's it.
For sure, man. Man, so it's challenging for a lot of families mentally to still be, involved or still want to do jiu-jitsu. And I'm sure as a coach, you deal with those students too, man. You're like, hey, why should I train? Or what's the point of me training now? I don't have a training partner. I don't have mats. I'm sure you hear it all. What is something that you tell students now to stay motivated and keep training?
Well, man, I don't like to keep using examples from other teams, but a guy that I saw in 2018 before the word was Levi Jones.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly the year, but I saw him drilling back in the brown belt. He was drilling by himself, literally drilling by himself, exactly like we do now.
Wow.
And I'm gonna be really honest with what I thought. I really thought, like, you're gonna lose. If you don't have a training partner, you're gonna lose. Guess what? The next tournament, black belt. He beat everybody. Become Pan Arms champ, black belt.
Wow.
Boom. I was like, oh, whoa, you're ridiculous. You judge.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I saw Professor Marulo in Phoenix before Nogi Worlds, and he was doing the exact same thing that we're doing. He just solo drills. Just
solo drills.
And, man, he won the championship. And I'm just like, oh, wow. Like, this is true to, man, there's no way to not train jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, man, jiu-jitsu is such an amazing tool for people. If you met me, if you know me 10 years ago when I was 12, 14, 16, kids in Brazil are way different. They're not like kids in America. 14 years old would be a family guy, a family dad, family leader. Yeah, that's how it works. Yeah. So, how can I explain that? Jiu-jitsu, okay, easy way. In 10 friends that I have back in the days in 14, maybe 7 is in jail right now. So jiu-jitsu took me out of a bad neighborhood that I was living and put me in a really good stage of life. I don't even know what would I be doing today if it wasn't jiu-jitsu, So that make me feel like, man, jiu-jitsu is such a great tool for life. How many students, Tino, you have students, how many students you see come to the school and with a weird look in the eyes, and you think like, this guy has a problem and he's trying to find somebody to solve that, but he will never speak on that.
All the time.
Exactly. And he just be a nice guy to that guy, show some jiu-jitsu techniques, boom, the guy is laughing, go home, don't do anything wrong.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Like other teams that I've known, it's competition. You're only gonna get. I mean, I hear it all the time too from being a program director from other students calling from other schools. Like, hey, I've been a blue belt for 5 years and I don't want to compete. And the guy who runs my gym says he's not gonna promote me unless I compete. Do you guys do that? And man, it's Gracie Barra, man. It's hard not to say that we pass the right message.
Yeah, I mean, competition, man, is the great tool to look at jiu-jitsu. But if you look at jiu-jitsu just for a competition thing, you're looking wrong, man. Because let's be honest, 5 years ago, who would say that Gordon Ryan would become the legend? Who would say Mike Musumeci would become this guy? Who would say Levi from Australia would become a Pan-Am champion as a black belt? So if you, I think it's really selfish if you open a school and call students because of competition. Oh, come here, you're gonna be a world champ. So what? After that, so what? What are you gonna do?
Yeah, man, it's crazy, and especially since you're 3 stripes, man. How do you feel about getting closer to that black belt?
Oh man, I feel like I want to take it off. Hope Professor Fly forgot and put it on again for 1 year. That's what I want to do.
Man, so how did you feel, man? The last promotion, you got your 3rd stripe. What did that mean to you?
That was a click in my mind, man. That was like when I got my brown belt, I was like, oh, now I can attack leg locks, knee bar and stuff, but it's not that different. But when I got my 3rd stripe, I was like, man, I'm not playing a game anymore. If I mistake here, I'm not mistake for my friend Coach Lucas gonna look at me and make a joke. People gonna look at me and gonna, have like it's like, imagine if you see Professor Flavio drinking a beer on the mat. You're gonna be like, what? Flavio? Yeah. And I really worried about how people gonna look at me when I become a black belt, like I told you earlier. Yeah. And that stripe make me feel really under pressure. It's not become a better jiu-jitsu fighter. It's become a better human being. I want to be a black belt, like can talk to people and connect with people.
Man, that's so awesome because you will hear like, it goes around. There's black belts and there's black belts. So there's a huge difference between somebody who got it from competing but not really coaching or not passing the right message, man. And you hear that all the time, man. And so let me ask you, what does a black belt represent to you?
Yeah, man. Black belt for me is a master. I mean, of course, master is just when you get a coral belt, but black belts for me, I came from an old school and an old mindset, and that was implanted on my mind. And for me, man, becoming a black belt, you are a type of guy that people would ask you anything, everything. Would ask advice about marriage, about growing kids, about what should you do, what should you have done, blah blah blah. And people, it's really special when I call professor by professor. Like, it's not just call professor because Professor Luis is a black belt or whatever. It's a special transition. Call him professor. I don't look at him like, oh, this is the guy who played video game Warzone with me tonight. No, this guy is a professor, is a black belt. He's a guy that I have to ball. Even though I'm coming to his house, does I have a mat, I have to ball. This is a crazy mindset. It's a little bit weird, but that's how I like to look at black belts. It's a magic and stuff.
Man, that's so awesome because a lot of schools don't pass that message. And man, I think it comes all back to like having respect and passing the right message, brother.
This is terrible, man. Little things make a lot of difference in your life. Little things.
Well, man, I know you have to go here, so let's play the this little game that I do with everybody. It's called the competition rounds.
All right.
So I'm gonna ask you a question, and you just whatever comes to your mind, just spit it out. All righty?
God.
It's not gonna be crazy. It's not gonna be crazy. I promise. All right. First question, man. It's what's your favorite submission?
Triangle.
Awesome. Okay. What's the worst submission you hate being caught in?
Anaconda.
Ooh, okay. All right. And what's your favorite guard to work?
last guard for sure.
Okay. And what's the worst guard you hate dealing with?
Lapel guard.
And I hope nobody from competition team is listening.
Boy, I said last guard.
Yeah, worst guard you hate dealing with is the lapel guard.
Yeah, lapel guard.
Yeah, man. All right. And then the last one, what is Coach Aso's favorite cheat food or bad food?
What? Filiberto's.
Filiberto's, really, man?
Yeah,
You're be one of us, brother.
Boy, I eat that every single day. I mean, every single Saturday.
What do you get from Filiberto's?
Well, I always get shrimp burrito.
Oh, brother, man. You've been in Arizona too long, man. You start becoming Mexican, bro.
Yeah, beautiful culture, man. Beautiful culture.
Awesome. Well, Coach, thank you so much, man. I know you got to go teach class. I got to go teach class too right now.
Yeah.
So, man, thank you so much, man. I really want to do this again with you, brother, because, man, I feel like we could go on and on and on, brother.
Yeah, boy, we could have got 2 extra hours. Easy money.
Man, and I forgot, everybody, tune in because Coach Aso is going to be on GB Online. What days are you going to be on, Coach?
Oh, yeah, sir. I will be there Saturday at 12 p.m.
Awesome.
Time.
Awesome, man. So everybody go check him out. That's going to be on GB Online, correct?
Yes, sir.
Awesome, man. So, guys, go check out Coach Aso. Again, man, thank you so much for doing this, brother.
Thank you, Tino. Man, it was amazing. I felt so special for our podcast.
All right, brother. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Bye-bye.